about this last episode of Mama June. It starts off with Pumpkin, and she shows up to the house that Josh is currently staying in because it's his week with the kids. And she is trying to find Josh and Ella because it's Ella's first day of school, and they agreed to all take Ella to school together as one family to make things as normal as possible. So she shows up, and she's just stomping all through the house because she cannot find any of the kids. Josh isn't there. So she's like, okay, so I guess he just left me and forgot. She's walking around the house, huffing and puffing. And then she picks up her phone and calls Josh. And she's like, where the hell you at? Did you forget? And he's like, no, we just went to go get breakfast. And then he told her he'd be there in just a few seconds. And he told his daughter, yeah, your mama always thinks that somebody's about to leave her. Which honestly, for Josh, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case for him in the future. After Pumpkin just pretty much just left him dead in the dust and just left him out of nowhere. So they all get in the car. They take Ella Grace to school. They drop her off. And they're both trying to accept that Ella Grace has finally phased out of wanting to have hugs and kisses and be held. Like, she's getting old and independent. She doesn't think it's cool to be all BFFs with her parents anymore and have them walk her into school. And after they drop off Ella Grace, they go back to the house, and Pumpkin drops off Josh, and Josh was like, hey, my mom has the rest of the kids. Do you want to step inside for a minute while we wait for the kids to get back? And Pumpkin was like, well, the kids aren't there right now. She said she feels like Josh wanted her to come inside so he could try to lure her back in. And she didn't feel comfortable just hanging out with Josh when it was her and him. But you were just hanging out with Josh to bring Ella back from school, just you and him. I just don't get it. Like, she's acting like he wants to go in and just try things out again, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind that, but I really think his intention for inviting her inside was just so she could see her kids for a few minutes. And the way she blew up on Josh over this, I just didn't like that. I just would have been like, no, I gotta go do some things, I have a busy day today, instead of get a whole little attitude with him over it. And then she went to her warehouse, and she has to hurry up and pack her warehouse because she has to move out. So she says she's paying double the rent in the warehouse she's currently at, and she found a warehouse that is $1,000 cheaper a month, and it's only one story. I guess originally she thought she needed this big old grand warehouse, and it's honestly disappointing because I remember when she got this first warehouse she's in, she spent so much time decorating it and just pretty much like flipping the whole place. Like, the place literally was full of dust, and the floors were just like concrete floors. Like, she painted the walls, the floors, cleaned everything out. It was a lot of work, and now she's just gonna up and leave it. And she's like, yeah, I gotta hurry up and leave because if I don't move out in the next week, then I'm gonna have to pay rent for 2 places this next month, which is total cap, Pumpkin, because you weren't even paying rent at the first warehouse you were at. It's been exposed that she didn't just up and leave willy-nilly. She got evicted from the place because she hadn't been paying rent for months. I guess she like bought the warehouse, paid rent for the first few months, and then after that she lived in it for months. Well, didn't live in it, but worked out of it for months. All while she didn't pay anything after the first 2 months. If you guys want more information, I made a video about it talking about Pumpkin being evicted. But yeah, she goes to the warehouse and she sits down with Paisley, her employee, and she starts talking about her love life. She's like, yeah, so I've been talking to this guy. He's really sweet. He does things I've never experienced before. And she said that she met him back in high school, but they haven't talked for years, and he suddenly hit her up on social media. And then she spilled the beans, but yeah, he knows Josh pretty well. Actually, he's technically Josh's cousin, but more like Josh's husband, because I guess they share the same stepdad, or Josh's stepdad is related to Darren, I think is how she explained it. But technically they're not blood related, but they're like step related cousins, which Which is still weird. There's millions of people out there, and you just had to go and be with somebody that has the same family members, that share family members. And here's the thing, I heard like Josh and Darren were pretty close, and I guess like Darren was coming around and hanging out with Josh all the time right before they split up. And I think, well, what I've heard is he was coming around because he didn't want to hang out with Josh, but really he was trying to get closer to Pumpkin. So I'm sure whatever kind of friendship that Josh and Darren had is probably now out the window, because I would be feeling some type of way if I was sharing family members with somebody and they went and took my girl after we got divorced. So Pumpkin told Paisley that she does not want to tell Josh because their divorce is supposed to be finalized in the next week, and she feels like it's going to upset him. But I feel like more than anything, I think she has so far been grateful that they've had such an amicable divorce, and that she's scared if he finds out that he may suddenly want to switch up and, you know, maybe go after child support, or maybe make things more difficult for Pumpkin to try to kind of get revenge, or might try to blame, oh, maybe this is why she decided to finally file for divorce and speed up this whole process, and maybe it might finally click for him. Then we see June, and she's in the car with her husband Justin, and she's like, yeah, so I decided I want to invite the girls over to my house so we can have tuna pasta. So she said she's going to invite Pumpkin, and Justin was like, well, who else are you inviting? Are you going to invite Jessica, Cheyenne? And she's like, I don't really like Cheyenne. So she said that she kind of almost feels like Cheyenne is using Jessica, because she claims Jessica, one, has changed and she's no longer coming around the family as much. And she also feels like Cheyenne is using her for her money, because every time Jessica gets money, Cheyenne's like, okay, we got to go to the local Walmart. I mean, I don't want to say that's technically using someone, because at Walmart you're probably getting essentials like groceries and stuff like that. I mean, unless you're just going there and buying unnecessary stuff. But I feel like if someone's going to use somebody, they're going to spend their money elsewhere besides the local Walmart. Like, if I was using somebody, I'd be wasting money on vacations, plastic surgery, like a million other things than at the local Walmart. And so June feels like Cheyenne is just using Jessica, and she hopes that the relationship phases out, because she just doesn't really care for Cheyenne, and she just feels like Cheyenne really doesn't put much of an effort into trying to get to know June. But she probably already feels some type of way about June because of what June has done to her daughter. I mean, June really doesn't have much room to talk. She stole thousands upon thousands from her own daughter Alana, stole Dancing with the Stars money, the Honey Boo Boo money. She took all her daughter's paychecks for the Honey Boo Boo show and spent them instead of putting them in a trust like she should have. And I hope the show learned their lesson from that, and going forward they require like all children actors, or, you know, children reality TV stars to put their money in trust accounts so their parents can't take them from them. But she sat there and said that she feels like Cheyenne is controlling. And at first I'm like, okay, maybe June's just like overreacting. But then I see later on in the episode that they all find out that Jessica went out on a cruise with Cheyenne and proposed to Cheyenne, and nobody was happy about it. Pumpkin wasn't feeling it, Alana wasn't feeling it, and they just feel like Jessica, or Cheyenne, is taking Jessica away from her family. I mean, I do find it concerning that nobody in the family likes Cheyenne, so I think that might kind of say something. But at the same time, I feel like they're just having a hard time getting used to the fact that Jessica doesn't want to spend all her free time with her family anymore, because I'm pretty sure this is her first serious relationship, or at least her first serious relationship in a hot minute. So this is all new for the family, for her to want to be spending her time with someone else. And Cheyenne has a kid. It's not her biological kid, but it's a kid she had with someone else, and they want to set. And I think that Jessica, you know, now that she's got her own little family, you know, she's spending more time with them. That's just how it goes once you start building your own family. And Jessica and Cheyenne also kind of concerned Pumpkin, because they asked her to use some of Josh's swimmers to help make them a baby, because they know that Josh has those super swimmers. So if they want a chance of getting pregnant, they better use some of Josh's swimmers. But I've heard that that was just for a storyline, so I'm starting to wonder if this beef is even real, or if the family's just trying to make a beef because they know that the engagement's about to be announced. And then we see Pumpkin get ready for this date with Darren, and here she is saying, oh my gosh, I don't know what to wear or how to look or how to act because I haven't been on a date since I was a teenager, which is a bold-faced lie, because Kara, the girl that Pumpkin had an affair with, came out and revealed that while Josh was out of town for a year working, Pumpkin was dating this girl, and there's videos that have been revealed by this girl on TikTok of where Pumpkin went out with Kara's mom to get her nails done, and she came back to Pumpkin's house and she had it rose petals all over the bed saying, will you be my girlfriend? And Pumpkin said yes. They became girlfriends. There's videos and pictures of Pumpkin's ex-girlfriend with Ella, Josh and Pumpkin's youngest daughter, around when she was like 1.5. So you definitely have done some dating, girl, while you were in a full-on marriage to Josh. And so she gets ready. She goes out on her date with Darren. She's still trying to hide everything from Josh. And then later on, we see Pumpkin go see the divorce lawyer with Josh to try to just get some final details worked out on their divorce. So the lawyer asked Pumpkin if she wants to keep Josh's last name or if she wants to go back to her original last name. And she said, yeah, I want to change my last name back to Shannon. And I think that was the last knife in Josh's heart. You could tell that really affected him, hearing that. And even afterwards, when they left the attorney's office, Pumpkin was like, are you okay? And he's like, no, I'm okay, Miss Shannon. So you can definitely tell that is getting to him. But that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. We also got to see Anna's daughter go to her first day of school, and Justin helped her get ready for school. But that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.